What's up, guys? It's Anthony here. And as you know, if you clicked on this video, most likely, the fantasy football season has ended yesterday. Whether you ended up at the top, the bottom, or somewhere in the middle in your fantasy league, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for next season that helped me win it all this year in my first time playing fantasy football. So, yesterday, Alex and I played against each other for the championship. I had Khalil Mack and Todd Gurley missing. He had Kamara, Brown, Breeze, and Elliott missing. I ended up winning by 3,000. So, with all those players back, I probably would have won still. Not by quite as much, but either way, today we're going through 3 tips and tricks to winning your fantasy league. Number 1, look at the season ranks on your players, as I'm doing now. See, these player ranks show you who is worth starting, who's worth benching, and who's worth picking up in general. I made the decision to bench Tom Brady this year, to only start him when either Matt Ryan or Andrew Luck has a bye. And that was a tough decision, but I made it because of the season ranks. And obviously Tom Brady, he's always going to have a good season, although he's retiring now. But, in general, Tom Brady always has a good season, but sometimes there are going to be better quarterback options. Like this season, there definitely were. So for running backs, this is also very important because running backs, probably after quarterbacks, are the next biggest position, to rack up the most stats, the biggest numbers. And, it's very important to tell which running backs are playing better than each other, because just watching the games isn't always going to tell you that. But for wide receivers, it's not always important to see season rankings because obviously there are 2 positions ahead of them that are going to be higher always. So even if you think Odell Beckham Jr. is a better player than Melvin Gordon, this is just an example. I'm not saying that he is. I don't know. It's up for you to decide, I guess. But if you think that, either way, Melvin Gordon is probably going to be higher ranked in the season because he's a running back. So for wide receivers, it's not as important. But for quarterbacks and running backs, it definitely is very important. So next tip is to look at the top available players. The top available players really shows you your different options to get onto your team. Meaning that, well, let's put it into perspective for this season. Patrick Mahomes. No one knew he was going to be this crazy special player, but now he's most likely going to win the MVP award. So, there you go. Top available players is important because you're not always going to get good players from the draft. People come out of the blue all the time to have good seasons when you've never even heard of them before. So it's important to know who's doing well, and you can pick them up to improve your team. My final tip is obvious. It's trading. you have to trade with your other opponents to improve your team. But you have to trade in a way where you're not trying to get Patrick Mahomes if you already have Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, and guys like that on your team. You have to trade for players that are really good in positions that you don't have yet. Like, if you have a shortage of wide receivers on your team, you're going to want to trade for wide receivers using one of your quarterbacks. Say if you have a lot of big quarterbacks. That's just how it's going to work. So, yeah, that's really it for today. Just want to also tell you about how this ended up working for me. I already said that, I ended up winning the championship, right? But also I got a lot of these medals, too, from fantasy. They did those things, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's really it for today. So this was my first season ever playing fantasy football. It was a blast, so much fun. But obviously, first season, I'm really no professional at it. So if there's a tip or trick that I missed that you use that really helps you win, then tell me in the comment section below. Signing off for now. Peace.